Over the past few years, I've replaced my website designer income by selling digital goods, workshops, guides, code coaching sessions. For anything and everything I sell using Squarespace, I make sure that my sales page has 5 specific sections. In this episode, you'll learn what those specific sections are and why they matter. Welcome to Think Inside the Square, a podcast full of quick tips and tricks that will help you create a Squarespace website that you're proud of. I'm your host, Becca Harpain, creator of InsideTheSquare.co, and in this episode, you'll learn about the 5 things that I include in every sales page I create. For a transcript of this episode, along with the links to any resources mentioned, visit InsideTheSquare.co/podcast. The term Squarespace is a trademark of Squarespace Incorporated. This content is not affiliated with Squarespace Incorporated. Before we dig in here, I feel like I need to add another legal disclaimer. There is no guarantee of success if you use the concepts presented in this podcast. These 5 sections that I add for every sales page works for me, but they might not work for you. Your success is your responsibility. I kind of want to get that as a poster for my office. That was motivational. Your success is your responsibility. All right, on to the episode. When I'm talking about a sales page, I'm talking about a page whose sole purpose is to promote a singular product or service. Just the one, nothing else. There's no way to sign up for your email list. You're not giving away a freebie. You're creating a page on your website to sell a specific thing that people are going to trade their hard-earned money for. Rule number 1 of a sales page is that you minimize those distractions. The main thing you want someone to do is buy the thing. So I always recommend removing anything else that would make them do anything else. What I mean by that is remove your website header links. They don't need to see your blog or your contact form or about you page. Make sure the only thing there is your logo. I also recommend minimizing your footer. So you have the important info like terms and conditions and copyright info, but no extra links to your social media accounts or forms for your email list. Minimize everything. I have a free tutorial on my blog about how to do this in Squarespace. I'll have it linked in the show notes at InsideTheSquare.co/podcast. With the main focus of this page being what you're selling, the product or service, I want to talk to you about creating the copy that encourages people to buy what you're offering. Over the years, I've refined my sales page strategy into 5 essential sections. For bigger ticket items, I'll add more like FAQ sections or content previews, but no matter what I'm selling, these 5 sections are always there. The first section of any sales page I create is one that grabs their attention with a powerful headline that they can identify with. When I mean powerful, I also mean concise. Have you ever seen a billboard with a paragraph? And if you actually did, were you able to read it before it was in your rearview mirror? That first section needs to be concise, powerful, and grab their attention just like a billboard. So here are some examples. Crush your goals, the proven system for setting and achieving ambitious targets. Or here's another one. Revolutionize your morning, the ultimate guide to energize productive days. How about a third option? Say goodbye to overwhelm, unlock the secret to effortless productivity. See how quick and catchy those were? They're concise, they use powerful emotional language, and they really grab your attention. Again, this first section is like the billboard for your product. Okay, on to the next section. We need to elaborate on the issue that you're solving so your future customer feels truly understood. This is where it's super important to talk like your customer. Don't use industry jargon that they don't know or try to make yourself sound fancier than you need to be. You want them to identify with what you're saying, and a huge part of that is how you say it. So let's dig into those examples again. For the proven system for setting and achieving ambitious goals, we can elaborate on the issue like this. Have you ever set ambitious goals for yourself and found that despite your best intentions, they remain out of reach? You know what you want to achieve, but you're struggling with the how? It's time to overcome the barriers and turn those aspirations into tangible successes. See how, again, we're using powerful language, but we're not actually talking about the product or service itself. We're talking about what it's going to solve, the problem. We're trying to identify it in the language our customer would use. Let's talk about the second product, the one that revolutionizes mornings. The elaborate section of their sales page could sound like this. Being stuck in a cycle of groggy starts and sluggish energy impacts productivity and the ability to seize opportunities, not to mention the negative impact on your overall health. How can you be expected to eat right and exercise when you're a perpetual feeling of playing catch-up? Our final example was a product that improves productivity, so the example for that one could be balancing tasks and responsibilities in today's fast-paced world leads to overwhelm. Juggling work, personal life, and self-care induces stress and a constant fear of burnout. It's time to discover a path to a more manageable, enjoyable, and productive lifestyle. Notice I haven't said the name of any product or even described what we're selling in any of those examples. Is this a course? Is it an ebook, a personal assistant, an app? Who knows? But anyone who identifies with that problem is going to keep reading because they want to know. That means it's time for the third section, the solution you're selling. Now, don't be confused here. This isn't the place for the super complicated info, like how many lessons are in your course or how much they can save with a bundle of multiple offers. Instead of what you're offering, state how you're solving their problem. Ready for the examples? I'm going to read all of them to you. Remember, each one starts with grabbing their attention, identifying the problem, and then the third section, the solution that you're selling. So here we go. The first example, Section 1, crush your goals, the proven system for setting and achieving ambitious targets. Section 2, have you ever set ambitious goals for yourself but found that despite your best intentions, they remain out of reach? You know what you want to achieve, but you're struggling with the how. It's time to overcome the barriers and turn those aspirations into tangible successes. Section 3. Our proven system stands out because it not only guides you in setting ambitious goals, but provides a step-by-step process to crush them. No more uncertainty. Our method is tailored to ensure your aspirations become tangible successes. Boom, we got their attention, we identified the problem, and we are here to solve it. Let's review the next one. Section 1. Revolutionize your mornings, the ultimate guide to energized, productive days. Section 2. Being stuck in a cycle of groggy starts and sluggish energy impacts productivity and the ability to seize opportunities, not to mention the negative impact on your overall health. How can you be expected to eat right and exercise when you're in a perpetual feeling of playing catch-up? Section 3. Our ultimate guide is unmatched because it doesn't just offer morning tips, it revolutionizes our approach. By providing practical strategies, it breaks the cycle of groggy starts, ensuring your days are energized and productive. If this wasn't a podcast, this is where I would insert the take my money gif. I am sold and I don't even know the name of this guide or the format that it's in. All right, we've got one more. Section 1. Say goodbye to overwhelm. Unlock the secret to effortless productivity. Section 2. Balancing tasks and responsibilities in today's fast-paced world leads to overwhelm. Juggling work, personal life, and self-care induces stress and a constant fear of burnout. It's time to discover a path to a more manageable, enjoyable, and productive lifestyle. Section 3. We have the solution for addressing your overwhelm and unlocking the secret to effortless productivity. No more stress or constant juggling. This is the definitive solution for those ready to bid farewell to overwhelm and embrace a more balanced and productive life. Powerful stuff, right? Now, there are 2 more sections that I include in every sales page. The next one doesn't have any examples because you don't write it. Your happy customers do. You need to have proof that what you're selling works. This is where you feature testimonials, and the more visuals you have, the better. I have photos of customers on my site, small little circles that you can barely see, but it breaks up the content on the page from being all about me or my product. Just make sure you get permission before you use someone's photo, okay? Okay, cool. Now, last but not least, the most important part of this 5-step sales page technique, ask them to take action and be specific. Buy now, get access, watch on demand, be clear, concise, and specific, but you have to actually tell them to take the action you want them to take. So let's recap this, the 5-step sales page method. The first section is your billboard section. It's got that solid attention-grabbing headline. Then you explain the issue in their words, using terminology that they'll really resonate with. Then explain how your solution is the solution for that problem. Share some social proof in the form of testimonials, the more images the better. And finally, ask them to purchase the thing. The ask is the crucial step. Ask them to take action and buy from you. Now, don't forget the first part of this episode. When creating a sales page for a product or service, I strongly recommend reducing the amount of stuff on the page, so the only thing for a website visitor to do is to buy the product. The fewer distractions, the better. Remove your main navigation, get rid of any non-essentials in the footer, and make this page have one goal: sell. All right, I love keeping these episodes short, so we're going to call this one a wrap. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Think Inside the Square. If you'd like to check out the actual written examples, head on over to my blog, insidethesquare.co/podcast, for a full transcript of this episode. I have a lot more tips and tricks to share with you about making an amazing Squarespace website that's uniquely yours. So be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you happen to be listening to this episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review and share it with your Squarespace friends. Thanks again for listening, and most importantly, have fun with your Squarespace website. Bye for now.